Welcome to Body in Balance Podcast. I am your host, Charlotte Johnson, the certified licensed physician assistant, sent here to kick some knowledge your way once a week for the purpose of educating, informing, and enlightening this audience concerning physical, spiritual, and emotional aspects of our bodies in relation to our Creator, the one, the only, the true and living God. He is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Let us give it up for Yahweh. Hey. Welcome back to Body in Balance 25. Welcome back to Body in Balance 25, where your host, Charla Johnson, the physician assistant, is going to be talking to you about something new and something new for the fall. But we've talked about it in the spring. I want to talk about allergies and how it affects your nose, sinuses, your lungs, your upper airway. But before I get to that, my intro talks about Yahweh. I'm telling you, God, the great God of our lives. I'm telling you, he is doing some fantastic things in my life. And what you see in front of you is a book that I have written, and it was based on my first podcast where I talked to you about how to do a doctor's visit. If you are a subscriber, which I would suggest that you click the like button, click subscribe on my channel here so that you can get new information when I drop that information. I have now written a book, Mastering the Doctor Visit, A Guide to Better Healthcare. And this book basically helps you to understand how to best communicate with your doctor to get the most of your provider. That could be your PA, your nurse practitioner, or your physician. Either one of them that you talk to, any one of those three that you end up having a visit with concerning any issue. If you're going for your lungs, you're probably going to see a pulmonologist. If you're going for your gut or your stomach, you're going to see a gastroenterologist. If you're going for your heart, you're going to see a cardiologist. If you're going for your thoughts and your mind and your stress levels and what's going on with you and not being able to get it together, you may have to see a psychiatrist. All of these, if you're having headaches, you will see a neurologist. If you are just going for your regular physical, you will see an internal medicine doctor or a family practice doctor. Family practice doctor, if you're a woman, you're going to see a gynecologist. If you're having problems with your with erections as a man and things like that, you're going to see a urologist. All of those are specialist doctors, but you need to know how to talk to them. Well, I give you the secrets in this book of how to get the most out of your provider. Little tips and things that you need to do to be prepared for your doctor visit, to be prepared to talk to them. There's only a certain amount of time that they can spend with you. And that's why on this show, I tell you things that your doctor doesn't have time to talk to you about. I'm going to be on Amazon where you can pick this up. I will have it on my TikTok sale, where you can buy things off of my TikTok. You can buy this booklet. You will also be able to get it through YouTube. You can inbox me on my Facebook page, and I will get it out to you. And I want you to know all that there is to be your best, to be your very, very best at health. We all know the political stance, and I am not on picking sides, but I am on the side of right. I'm on the side of what will help my patient. I'm on the side of what will do well for you to have a better quality of life. No matter what that takes, I want to make sure that you are living your best and that your temple is known as a temple for the Spirit of God to dwell and live and for you to thrive. And if you don't believe in God, that's on you. That's up to you. I'm not forcing you to do anything, but I'm telling you, he's doing some good things for me. And if you wanted to be on this side, all you got to do is say yes to him. So without further ado, look for my new book on Amazon. It should come out by next month. It'll be a great Christmas gift. It'll be a great stocking stuffer. It'll be a great office giveaway. You can use it for anything like that. And if you're in any one of the churches that do know me through the Church of God in Christ, I work with the Sunday school department, and hopefully the Sunday school department will support me in my endeavor. I'm looking forward to people in the Church of God in Christ because I had you in mind when I was writing this as part of a ministry. Now I'm going to get started on understanding fall allergies and the impact of dust mites on nasal health and also your upper airway, nasal health, and your lower airway, your lungs, to a small extent. There's going to be a couple of videos that I'm going to toss in here because I want you to learn, understand, and grow with my podcast here on Body Imbalance 25, because that's what I'm all about. So we're going to be talking about understanding these allergens and the impact that they have on your health. So this is a picture, and this is what's called the coronal view. So it's a CT scan looking at you from this way and making slices of your head from like the tip of your nose and slicing back to the back of your skull. So what you see the eyeballs where it says anterior ethmoid notch, those dots, those black areas, and where those stars are, that's your ethmoid sinuses, which is between your eyes, there and lower below that. Where the gray patch is, that's where your eyeballs would sit. Then under your eyeballs, you see the black area. That black space is your maxillary or your cheek sinuses right here. So you have your ethmoid sinuses here, you have your frontal sinuses here, and you have your maxillary sinuses here. There's another sinus called the sphenoid sinus, which is at the top of your head. It's at the top of your head, back behind your eyeball. That one you cannot see on this view. This right here would be a really good CT scan of the sinuses. So this person's sinuses are very clear. But we're going to talk about the overview of fall allergies. We're going to talk about dust mites. And I'm going to show you some of those creepy, ooey gooey pictures. And you're going to learn some stuff that you probably don't want to know, but that you need to know. And so we're going to talk about these disgusting looking creatures that are invisible, but they are irritants. They cause nasal congestion. They cause skin irritation and itching. They cause sneezing. They cause congestion with runny nose. They cause all of that. The effects on the nasal health and preventive ways to cut down on them. You can't get rid of them. So there's nothing that you can do to really just eradicate them totally, but you can reduce their numbers. Now, what are some of the common allergens in the fall? I am so glad you asked me. One is ragweed pollen. So ragweed levels rise in the fall. The regular flower pollen and tree pollens are in the spring, but in the fall it's ragweed, triggering allergic reactions and sensitivities for people that have a lot of sneezing, congestion, runny nose, that kind of thing in the fall, October, November, usually end of September, October, and November. Mold spores. Now, if it's a rainy day, constantly raining, now you people up in Oregon and Washington, the state of Washington, with all that rain, there's always the possibility of mold spores. Those people that are down south, that have a lot of rain in the, like Florida, Georgia, Southern Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Louisiana, with all of that rain, Texas, in the southern part of Texas, Houston area, where it's hot and humid, there's a lot of mold spores that occurs. But we're talking in the fall, there's a lot of mold spores because of rain and wet, damp areas. Dust particles, dust accumulates in the fall, and it contributes to a lot of allergy sensitivities. You know, this is the season where your Christmas, your October's already passed, so Halloween, pulling out those decorations and stuff, but they set for a whole year. Thanksgiving, when you're going to get ready for your family, you got all your family coming over and you start cleaning areas. You know, you didn't clean them areas in a long time. You ain't wiped that fan off in forever. I ain't talking about nobody. Maybe I'm talking about myself, but I'm talking about some of you all that if you look up in the, okay, just look up there and see all that dust hanging off that fan. You're going to wipe all of that off before Aunt Gertrude comes over and starts talking about you. So you want to get all of that done. The baseboards and stuff like that haven't been dusted off, you'll dust all of those off. That's going to stir up a lot of stuff. So you may want to use one of those little face masks, slip on a mask when you do all of that house cleaning, to get ready for your family coming over for Thanksgiving. You also send somebody, either the older child or your husband or somebody, to crawl up in the attic, go into the garage, go into the shed and pull out the Christmas tree and all of those decorations. Well, it's been sitting there for a whole year. Of course, there's dust there. So I'm going to talk to you about, there's some preventive things you can do. Slip a little mask on just while you're doing that to keep all of that from inoculating and infiltrating into your nasal passageways. Okay. Fall allergies, like I said, sneezing. These are some of the symptoms that you can have. See how she has that little mask on? You can just tie a bandana around when you're trying to keep out a lot of dust and stuff. If you're having to rake the leaves in the yard, you want to make sure you put a little mask on just to keep those particles from getting in your nose, because it will cause frequent sneezing, nasal congestion, and make it hard for you to breathe. When you have a chronic runny nose, it makes your eyes itch and water. Your throat gets irritated. It's not painful like a strep throat, but it's scratchy, dry feeling. It hurts to swallow sometimes. You get like this weird taste in your mouth. All of that stuff comes from allergies and postnasal drainage, which is drainage down the back of your throat. Fall weather allergy prevalence. Yes, it occurs more when there is mold growth in the fall, comes from cooler temperatures and increased moisture. So when it's raining, cold outside, rainy and cold outside, those states that I just said, they're the ones that have most of that stuff. But other places that do have a lot of rain and things like that, beware. Pollen disbursement, because of the windy air that blows those leaves all over the place, that can cause problems. Indoor allergens that spread, we're going to talk about them. These disgusting dust mites. Ew. These things here, I'm going to show you a little video talking about them, because these disgusting, gross things, dust mites, are prevalent in warm and humid weather. They grow, they mutate, not mutate, but they multiply and they grow and they survive indoors. They feed off of the dead skin that's on your body. So when you shed your skin, and when your dog or cat or hamster sheds their dead skin, those dust mites feed off of that. Common habitants, they are in your bedding, they're in your carpets and your upholstery on your furniture. These areas accumulate them because of skin cells and moisture. So right now, I'm going to take a little break, and I want to show you a video about dust mites.
There is nothing better than falling asleep into a nice clean bed, but not so nice when your nose often gets stuffed up or congested after laying down. The culprit may be what you are also sleeping with at the microscopic level, no matter how clean the bed appears to be. Known as dust mites, these microscopic arachnids are visible to the naked eye, being only 0. Dust mites and their excrements are one of the most common indoor allergen, causing people to suffer an allergic reaction whenever laying down to sleep. In the average bed, there can be anywhere from 100,000 to over 2 million dust mites. In fact, in a typical 2-year-old pillow, 10% of the weight could be attributable to dead mites and their excrements. Living off dead human skin that people shed daily, dust mites also live on furnitures, carpets, and even stuffed toys. While it is impossible to completely rid a home of dust mites, there are things that you can do to diminish their presence. One step you can take to prevent an allergic reaction to dust mites is to use special allergen impermeable covers on both your mattress and pillows. Such dust mite covers have pores that are too small to let the dust mites and their waste products through into the bedding where you can breathe it in. No matter what material the cover is made of, choose a zippered version for the most effective protection. Consider purchasing covers for not only the mattress, but also the box spring and pillows. Regularly wash all bed linens, including sheets and blankets, in water that is at least 130 degrees Fahrenheit, which kills the mites. For further defense, remove as much carpeting as possible, as well as use special air filters to clean the air as much as possible. Over long periods of time, continued exposure to dust mites will trigger not only nasal symptoms, but also can result in asthma and chronic coughing.
Those who suffer from asthma and allergies, they can trigger wheezing, watery eyes, sinus problems, and irritated skin. First, start off by cleaning your mattress with your vacuum's upholstery or crevice attachment. Next, deodorize. Sprinkle a 1-pound box of baking soda over the entire surface of the mattress.
We recommend leaving it there for about 24 hours, so before you start this, you want to make sure you've made other sleeping arrangements for the night.
For pillows, fluff them every day to keep their shape and remove any dust. Once a month, run the pillows through the dryer on the no-heat cycle or hang them outside on a breezy sunny day. And some pillows can even be washed.
Memory foam and latex are two that you shouldn't wash because they're extremely difficult to dry thoroughly. Instead, just treat any stains with a damp cloth and mild detergent.
For feather and down pillows, submerge in warm water and add a small amount of powder detergent. Knead gently, press out extra water, then roll in a towel to dry. And then throw your pillows in the dryer on the no air or dry air setting.
It can take hours for pillows to dry, and we want a completely dry pillow to prevent any mold or mildew.
You can add a couple of towels, which can speed up the drying, and a clean tennis ball or two to keep the pillows from clumping together in the dryer.
Don't forget about the other bedding, your sheets, and your comforter. And if you want to know what detergent to use, Tide Plus Ultra Stain Release Liquid Detergent earned top scores in Consumer Reports testing to remove body oil and dirt. So now no more excuses. There you have it.
This is a Body and Balance 25 production, along with assistance from Fuquare, ENT, and CT News Vancouver.